This release was sent to me recently this morning. Tomahawk Intermediate School briefly entered a code hold following a report of an individual walking along Route 9 with what appeared to be a weapon. During this time, buses were rerouted and held at a nearby location until the situation was investigated. Law enforcement has since given the all clear, and buses have returned to the school to bring students inside. The school safety officer remains on site. Out of an abundance of caution, Tomahawk Intermediate, Hedgesville Elementary, Hedgesville Middle, and Hedgesville High went on a code secure due to activity in the area. At no time was there an immediate threat to the safety of students or staff at any of these schools. Law enforcement has now given the all clear for the entire area, and codes have been lifted at each school. The safety and well-being of our students and staff remain our highest priority. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. That from Berkeley County Schools. So in case you had heard of any issues, that's been resolved. So did Sandy lose her headsets, her volume? Oh. Okay, well, it was there earlier. I checked those when Mary Hendricks was sitting there, unless they got disconnected. But you can take them off if you can't hear about them. You won't need them unless we need to call. Let's welcome back our co-host on the day, New York Times bestselling author John Gilstrap.
Good morning.
Good to have you here, sir. Bill is out sick, so he's not with us this morning. We wish him a speedy recovery and such. I mentioned Mike Pushkin in that last segment. Mike sent me a note earlier this morning that there is a gathering at the Purple Iris this evening at 6 o'clock, I believe it is. And that's a Democratic Party gathering for a town hall meeting at the Purple Iris, 6 o'clock. So you can attend that. That's open to the public. Now, let's welcome in Sandy Lynch. Sandy, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Sorry about the headphone gaffe there.
It's okay. I don't need to hear. You're in the room, so I can hear you, but I don't really need to hear it through the headset.
Yeah, you'll be
that's
fine.
Good.
Yeah, very good. Well, welcome. It's great to have you back here once again.
Thank you very much.
And I know you've got some things you wanted to promote, too, involving the VA and the work that you're doing for the VA there with a fundraiser for the food pantry. Tell us about that.
Well, on September 20th, several concerned veterans, including myself, are going to gather, and we're going to have like a giant flea market or a yard sale or whatever you want to call it. And the entry fee for that is $75 for a business, $35 for an individual. You bring your truck, bring your car, clean out your garage, your basement, come on over and sell your stuff. And we're not taking any of the money that you earn. We're just taking that entry fee. That's what we want. And we're hoping to raise some money for the VA. You know, the VA lost their funding for the food pantry is along with other programs. I didn't know this part. I learned this last week. They lost money for several other programs for women, for veterans who are taking like the arts therapy, the music therapy, all those kinds of things that really help veterans with their PTSD and other issues. And that's a shame. We really shouldn't have that. So we're going to start with this. We're going to start with the food pantry because that's the greatest need. And because I believe no vet should ever be hungry. And you know, especially the homeless vets, and food inadequate vets, they really need to get this stuff. So I also have a little list here of some things that are urgent. Milk shelf stable milk, soup, peanut butter, pasta sauce, tuna, cereal, rice, and then, of course, hygiene products, especially for women, as well as body wash, shampoos, and deodorant. So those are the hot items that they really are short on right now, and they could really use the public's help. But we're going to, collect as much as we can as far as not just cash, but also if people want to bring by donations, of course, we'll take those as well. And we're hoping to have some music and of course, it's going to be at Papa's Chicken and Ribs, so of course we're going to have food. It's going to be great. So we're looking forward to folks coming out and joining us.
If you're heading down 45 towards Shepherdstown, that's going to be on your left.
Right, with the flags, the place with all the flags. It's 4727 Shepherdstown Road.
Yes,
so.
This is September the 20th from 10 until 2, right?
Yes.
And it's $75 for a business space, $35 for a non-business space. You come and sell your stuff. And you can get in touch with Sandy if you'd like to be a part of this at srlynch, Lynch, 28 at gmail.com, srlynch28 at gmail.com to find out more about Operation Full Plate. You mentioned the VA lost funding for some of these programs. Was that federal funding?
Yes.
Was there any state funding involved?
I do not know. That part I do not know. I only heard about the federal.
I'd say lost funding. Was the funding reduced or did it just go away?
In some cases, it just went away. I don't know about the reduction. I was told that they lost their funding. So, they didn't explain. I didn't ask. I guess I should have asked. But
What's your connection with the VA? Sandy?
Well, I'm a veteran. I'm retired from the Air Force. I was in 20 years. And, I've been out longer than I was in.
Funny how that happens, huh?
Yeah.
What was your experience like in the Air Force?
Well, I was one of the first women that came back after World War II. There were just like mostly nurses and things like that, but I joined in the 70s. So in the 70s, they weren't very welcoming to women, but I survived and, made it through my 20 and, had fun and whatever but survived. So that's the,
what was your job?
big thing. Well, for a tiny short period of time, I was with the 702nd Air Force Band, so I was a singer with them, and I got to sing at Mount Rushmore on the 4th of July, which was very, very moving. We were doing Gershwin, and of course when the fireworks went off, they were doing John Philip Sousa. But the rest of the time I was an admin person. I used to tell officers where to go and what to do. So
how did they take that?
Well, sometimes a little trouble, but most of the time they'd go talk to the commander, and pretty soon they're back saying, "Okay, what do I have to do?"
What rank were you when you left the Air Force?
I was an E6, so I just didn't quite make it. I was right on the cusp of making my master sergeant rank, and unfortunately, Mr. Clinton decided that there was going to be a reduction in force, so didn't make it. But that's okay.
What did you do after you got out of the Air Force?
Oh, lots of odd jobs, lots of odd different things, I did get my master's degree, so I, wanted to finish up my education. And mostly I was a wedding officiant. I used to marry couples, which I thought was really fun and interesting. And
you brought
did that
people
for about
together.
20 years, know. And now I sew and, do other things and help around the community. And, of course, I'm very active in lots of different things. So,
How recently have you begun to get involved with veterans at the VA and the work that's going on there?
I've been involved for several years now. Tammy Offit and I, who are trying to get this off the ground, we're also creating a nonprofit based around this program. But anyway, she and I have worked really, really hard the last several years to, not only raise food and money for them, but also, just getting veterans involved, go finding them and finding out, are they homeless? Or, are you hungry? There's programs. Did you know about this program, that program?
How do you find them?
How do we find veterans?
Veterans who are homeless
And
in need of help.
Well, oftentimes they make themselves known, because they are homeless and they need help. A lot of times it's word of mouth. Other people tell us, that so-and-so's, in need of some, conversation. So we go and talk to them. So, or they come talk to us. So, we just, we do a little tiny bit of reach out, but mostly we find it through word of mouth. That's usually how it happens. So,
yeah. Do you have any stories of folks who were veterans that you have been able to find and help along the way?
Nothing specific. There's a lot of female veterans that we've connected with that we do refer over to the VA. Some of them don't realize there's a women's program over there. So that's helpful, That's mostly who we help, to be honest, because it's, a lot. And I can tell you from my own experience, when I first got out of the military, I disconnected completely with that, camaraderie.
Yeah.
Because when I was in, there weren't a lot of women. Now I'm discovering the women, now we're meeting women who served like I did, and we're connecting. So that's really kind of important. And like I said, just a few years ago, I finally realized, hey, the VA is there for me. Maybe I should go over and check them out and see what's going on. So recently I discovered the music therapy program and the art therapy program. In fact, they just had an art show contest, which was kind of cool. I wish I would have known about it. I would have entered. I got the email like the day after the cutoff. So I was like, oh, gee. But anyway, so there are things that are there for people, and they just need to reach out and learn. And really the only way to do that is just call the VA, go over to the VA, talk to people who go to the VA, and find out.
Do most veterans take part in VA activities, or do most not know or not participate? That
I can't answer that because I really don't have any stats on that.
Okay.
But I would assume, like myself, like I said, that a lot of women just disconnect. They don't go back, to discover that until later, until they realize, there's something there for me.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's hard.
Why was it for you? Why was it hard?
There was just a lot of anger, a lot of, distrust, a lot of angst in my part.
Because of?
Well, the sexual harassment, they beat you down, and so it's really difficult. And, although I had a lot of fun in the military, I also had a lot of, anxiety and a lot of distrust of, working with people. And so as a result, of course, now I'm 100% disabled, and I'm I throw all my anxiety into my artwork. So, I don't have to, suffer with that too much. And I discovered that on my own, which now I realize maybe I should go to the art program and see what they have to offer that could help me a little more. So, so I'm also exploring the VA myself, because there's something new to learn all the time,
So the facility on Shepherdstown Road with all the flags, is that the VA building? Is that
No,
the
no,
pantry?
that's Papa's Chicken and Ribs.
Oh, okay. So where is there a VA building that people go to? It's a hospital.
It's the
obviously.
hospital.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's the hospital. And there's facilities on that, there's a tract of land there, and there's facilities on that. Like
So it's all on that same campus.
Right, yeah, there's a lot
Okay.
on the campus to go to. There's even a women's boutique, which I didn't know about. I found out a few weeks ago, where women can go and get clothing for free. It's donated, and they fix it up and make it nice. And,
Veteran women?
Yeah.
Only veteran women, correct?
Yeah,
Not just
yeah.
anybody.
Okay, here's a perception, and it could be entirely wrong. I'm just being honest. Here's my perception. Happy, healthy veterans who are seeking camaraderie will find VFW or American Legion or whatever. People who seek the VA are in trouble. They're either unhealthy, they need the hospital, or they have. I hate the word issues because of,
Right.
but
Yeah.
hear,
I understand.
hear what I mean instead of what I'm
Yeah.
saying, right?
Right.
Is that fairly accurate? I mean,
I guess so. A lot of people who get out of the military immediately go to the VA because they have medical issues.
Right.
We'll say it that way. The mental health issues are less used because people are ashamed. They maybe don't have. Mental health is really difficult.
it's like any mental health community. It's tough.
It's tough, to get people to go in and get help, and they have to be pushed, I would assume, to do that, so unless they're cognitive enough to, realize enough that have self-awareness enough to know that they're in trouble. And so that I would say is difficult. Now that's just my own experience, my own, with people that I know, and my own issues. So, yeah.
So the money raised through what are we calling the fundraiser?
It's Operation Full Plate.
Operation Full Plate on September 20th. Mm-hmm. That money goes to what?
Directly to the VA. We're going to either write a check, or we're going to go buy groceries and give that to Terry Stadler, who is the coordinator over there for the food pantry.
Okay, so it goes to the food pantry. Mm-hmm. Okay.
This is specifically going to them. Later, we'll think about doing some other things, because I know Ken Sutton at Papa's Chicken and Ribs. Mm-hmm. He is donating. He'll, like, every time he has an event, he donates a portion of that to the VA, to the different programs. And there's about 6 or 7 different programs that he's donating to. And I don't have all the details on that because that's his thing. Sure. But he's also a veteran.
He's been in here. Yeah, I was going to say he's a veteran.
Yeah. So we're kind of working together, to get this done, to get this started. I am a little disappointed at the number of vendors that we've had apply, and I would love some more, and I would happily take people if they just want to come to the gate Saturday morning, and
maybe they didn't know about it.
Maybe they didn't know
Now
about
they
it.
know.
And now they know, and they're more than welcome to come and sell their stuff as long as they give me a little money.
Yeah. Well, and they keep their money. All you want is the space.
That $35 to get that space, and it's a 12-foot space unless. Now that's if we get a lot of people. If we don't get a lot of people, then they can just set up wherever.
Well, let me ask you this.
Hang on a second there, John. Just want to hit these table spaces one more time. This is for this Saturday, And what time are you going to start Saturday?
We're
10
going to
o'clock?
start at 10, but they're welcome to come as early as 8 o'clock. I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock.
To get set up. So it's $75 for a business space, $35 for a non-business space, and you keep the money you make. You just pay the $75 or $35 fee.
Yep.
And this is over at Papa's Chicken and Ribs at 4727 Shepherdstown Road. If you're not familiar with the place, as you're driving out toward Shepherdstown on 45, it's going to be on your left about halfway there.
Exactly. And you can have more than one space if you want it. We'll give you that too.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, go ahead, John.
So for the person who's cleaning out their basement, right?
Yep.
They're taking a swing here. They fill it up. At the end of the day, do they have to take back the stuff that didn't sell?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
Although there is one organization that kind of reached out and said, we'd be happy to take their stuff, and so I'm going to reach out to them this week and see if they're still going to do that, because that would be good if they did.
Yeah, if you ever do like a yard sale, neighborhood yard sale, there are people who will come around at the end and buy up everything you have and put it on eBay or whatever, wherever they want to sell
Whatever they want to do with it, yeah.
Yeah, they'll buy it up. Yeah. It's not for a lot of money, but it's better than having to throw it back in the house for another 6 months.
We had a yard sale way back in the day, and there were these ugly stackable chairs, sort of faux bamboo brass tables with the glass top on it, right? And Joy, my wife, was selling them for 25 cents a piece. And a guy offered her 20 cents a piece. And they went back and forth, and she absolutely wouldn't give up on the nickel. And he walked away, and we were stuck with those things for another 2 moves.
Wow. I had an opposite experience where my wife, we had a kitchen table that we were replacing. And it was pretty cool because, like when you put a leaf in a table, it's a pain in the butt, right? This had a leaf that folded back inside and underneath the table with hinges.
Those are nice tables, yeah.
And it was very convenient. And we eventually, because it had some water stains on it, it was teak wood, so we eventually put it out on the driveway. Didn't think we'd get much. I think she asked like $25 for the entire kitchen table and all the chairs that went with it, and it sold in about a second and a half.
Well, I'm going to be bringing all my broken furniture. So if there's a furniture refinisher out there who wants some antiques and some broken furniture, by all means, pop by. I was flipping furniture until I had an allergic reaction to some compounds in the wood.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to stop doing that. Now I'm sewing, which is fine. But, I'm going to get rid of it all. So I'm bringing my broken furniture.
All your broken furniture will be on display.
Yes, it will be.
Very good.
Yep.
Let me get back to veterans for a second. The circle that you're in with veterans, Sandy Lynch, and we're talking with Sandy Lynch, a veteran herself, 20 years in the Air Force. Are most in a situation where they require some help, or are most doing pretty good?
I would say most veterans are doing okay. I'll say it that way, because I really don't know anyone that's good, like good. There's always some kind of issue. So
I know there was some federal legislation regarding burn pits a few years ago. Did you know some folks that had some issues and needed treatment from the burn pits?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have a nephew who had to go in for some treatments. So definitely. How
common were those when you were in the places you were?
When I was in, it was not common because we were in deterrence. We were not in a current war, okay? I came in right at the end of the Vietnam War, and I left just as Desert Storm was ending. So I was just in there for a very, for 20 years during peace, during the Cold War, during deterrence, So there wasn't a lot. I mean, there were incidents, of course, Grenada and a couple of other things, but nothing like what happened the 20 years that we had Afghanistan, in Iraq. So, yeah.
In regards to getting mental help for veterans or getting disability claims processed, have you heard anything there? Is it getting
takes
better?
A long time sometimes. It can take years in some cases to get your disability moving because, well, in my case, for example, they didn't believe me. So there's that. I filed no police reports. I couldn't actually talk to anybody because in my case, these people were my supervisors. So how do I, address that? And you're not going to get believed. And so when I went in to apply for this, they gave me a different rating rather than, the rating I was going after. But that's okay. At least I got something, So And as time went on, I began to get more and more because, of issues related to that. So, it's a building up. Usually I know nobody who's ever gotten their 100% right off the bat, unless they were like lost a leg or, got blown up or something, because those are more obvious,
You've implied a few things and kind of gone around a circle on it without actually naming something.
Right.
And I don't want you to be uncomfortable naming something you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But if you want to fill in the blank, go ahead. If you don't, that's fine.
Well, I'm unemployable. That's my rating. I'm an unemployable status because I cannot function in the corporate world. And that's why I was a wedding officiant. That's why I became a wedding officiant, because I can't fire me. I can't be mad at me if I'm late. I can't, be mad if I'm mad, I mean, it's just, it's okay. It's like self-employment for me was the right answer. But for other people, it could be really devastating. And so in my particular case, I'm not allowed to earn any money, which is okay. I'm okay with that because they compensate me pretty well, and I'm okay with that,
And that's a condition of the compensation?
Yes. In my particular case, not everyone has that, stipulation. It's just because I'm unemployable. I mean, it's an employment issue. So,
Sandy Lynch, thank you for coming by. I wish you a huge Saturday at Papa's Chicken and Ribs, 4727 Shepherdstown Road from 10 to 2. You can come by and sell your stuff as a vendor, $75 for your business space, $35 for a non-business space, and Operation Full Plate is who the money benefits. Help raise money for the VA food pantry. Sandy, thank you very much.